Hi there, I'm going to show you how to put a baby into a seated sideways position, and we're using a one-way stretchy wrap this time to show you the slight differences in how you might do that. So I've already got it tied on, as you can see, cross on the back, cross on the front, and the outer horizontal pass. Now that's pushed down here out of the way. Now I'm going to want to put my baby into the piece that's on the inside closest to me. So this outer one, I want it out of the way for the minute. So you might want to just push it down like that so that you can free this one up. This is where we're going to start. We're going to actually make like a pocket, and we're going to back our baby in. So this is my baby. So we're going to hold her up on our shoulder, because that's often where we are when we're ready to go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring her down and we're going to put it into this little pocket here. So bring it down and in. And so the idea is that the carrier is, as you can see, it's right up. It's got her under the bottom, up her back, up to the back of the knees. Now this side here, got a bit of something on her head there. Well, this side here, you might decide you want to have it up the back of the head to support her. You might decide that's not what you want or not what they want. So you can tuck it away, whatever. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit loose here. We're going to play with that a bit later. We're just going to get her in position first, and then we're going to get rid of that slack. So now we want the second one on. So this one is going to stretch around. You can bring it back up my shoulder if you like. And the bulk of the extra fabric is going to stay on this outside edge and be in the back of her knee. And we're going to bring over what we need to go up across the back. So this is actually just doing the butt and the legs here. This doesn't have to go right the way up the top. If you feel like it, you can. The more you bring it up there, the more you're going to cover her face. So you need to work out what's going to work logistically for you. This is floppy, as you can see. We're going to be having to tighten and play with that slack in a minute as well. She's got my clothes. She's almost just like a real baby. One thing you can do in this position, because I don't want it across her face, as you can, I can just flip my shoulder like that. That's now brought it away from her face, which is really handy. You can see there's quite a bit of slack there. We're going to be playing with this. You've got two ways you can do it. You can fold it down like this, which can work really well. Sometimes that will start to creep back up again, so you can also try and flip it the other way. So see, my hand's going in underneath, and I'm reaching for that edge, and then I'm pulling it out. So that's flipping the other way. And as you see, so that's going to anchor this across out of the way. Alright, so we've got her roughly in position, and then the third thing we're going to do is bring this horizontal pass across to cap us all off. So you notice her, when you're in seated sideways, she's got one knee a little bit higher than the other. That's totally fine. That's kind of how they're normally how you would be if you were doing it too. We've also got the feet uncovered, so there's nothing pushing on the reflexes there. Alright, so now we're going to get, I prefer to move this by like bringing my rope around and then spreading it out afterwards, rather than just getting the edge and dragging it up. So I'm going to bring it all bunched up and bring it up. There we go. And again, if you want to keep it away from the face, where's my baby's face? There we go. You can just fold it down a little at this point. So technically we're now all in position. Now I'm going to cover this one up because it's quite high, but as you can see, the way the foot's curled and the way this is, it's not pushing on the sole of the foot, so that's okay. If your foot's down like that, that's also okay. So we just kind of work around what's working for the baby. So again, the bulk of the extra bunched up fabric is going to be in underneath her here, and we just have what we need covering her up like that. It's up under my armpits, nice and close. Alright, so technically she's in, she's fine. She's not really this size doll in this particular the tightness, looseness of my carrier right now. She is reasonably snug and secure. So depending on what I'm going to be doing next, if I'm going to be doing a lot more sitting around and resting, she would probably be okay. If I would need to be a bit more mobile, or even if I just want her to be more supported, maybe your baby's a bit smaller and it's a bit looser than you want. She's not being well supported here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a game called Follow the Slack. So
if you're having a look at the overall shape of this, this is the middle. I've actually swapped this over, so my middle markers ended up down here. So this is the middle. So we're going to go from the middle, and we're going to be moving the slack. If you can see, it goes around, across my back, it comes down, and then it goes, the crosses across our baby, and then that goes down around my waist under here. So we're going to follow the slack and take it out. So it doesn't really matter whether you start left or right. If you have time to think about it, the sensible thing to do would not be to tighten the top cross first. The sensible thing would be to tighten the bottom one first and have this a little bit loose first. It will just help maneuver. If you're not sensible, if you haven't got time to think about it, it's not actually the end of the world. It'll still work, but it will move a bit more freely if you're tightening the underneath side and not this top one. So I'm going to be going this way first. So I go through here, and then it goes underneath here, and then it comes up here. Now, did I twist? Let me just check. What I want to know is this edge the top edge, or has this edge become this? It's got a twist in it now. So when I'm pulling this side, it's actually turning out to be this side pulling through. So that means if I'm pulling this edge, has become this edge like that. So that's, as long as you know which edge is which, you'll be fine. So look, we've got all that slack, and this is snugged up beautifully on this side. Awesome. Now what happens underneath here, you don't have to open it up, but this is the inside one, so I'm going to want to move this through underneath the baby. So that could be a bit fun. I prefer to put my hand up, and then I'm just going to pull. See what you can move, see what you can pull. So I can do this one quite easily. I can come in underneath, and it's actually in between us. Where have we gone? It's my shirt. There we go. So I've managed to pull all that extra side and bring it through. You can lean forward a little depending on how well supported your baby is, how much tone or muscle control she has, and how much you need to do for her. Just work with what works for you, and how much you need to do. There's no perfect amount of tight and amount of slack that's too slack. It's just about depends on what you're going to do, depends on what you need. But I've just worked that through and got that a bit of slack there. Now I'm going to do the other side. So we're going to go that way around now, and as you can see, it becomes here. So I've got some more slack coming this way, and again, this is the part that's going across her legs, so I'm going to come in underneath here and go, have a little gentle tug. So yeah, what I was trying to say a moment ago, it's a compromise between how much support you need, how much slack you need to remove in order to make that happen, versus how tricky it may or may not be, and whether you're going to disturb your baby and just create more problems. So just be sensible about what's going to do. So now I've got all that extra has been brought through underneath, and I can bring that round, and this is how much I got out of playing follow the slack just then. So then you just have to untie and retie, and as you can see, the fraction of the fabric and the weight and everything is actually holding this in position nicely, so I don't have to freak out about this being untied for a minute or two. And now there we go, and now that I've put my knot in my front so that I can now sit down and I haven't got any major lumps. So that little foot for this baby is just tucked in and it's not being pressed on. It's in a little pocket under there. She is beautifully snug, and her airway is pretty much clear. I could do that better, couldn't I? Let's just take this over. If I bring this down some more, there we go, and that's taken it away from her face. So now she's looking good. She's leaning against me in a seated sideways position. Her body is all supported against my body, so it's a really nice wee carry. Hope that was helpful.